Hi Siri, I'm looking for a new podcast, one that preferably is hosted by a UF Hall of Famer, one that airs every weekday that would bring me everything I need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions. Siri, is there such a show?
Have you heard of PodUp with Matthews in the morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or any podcast platform?
Oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? UF Hall of Famer Shane Matthews has a show every weekday. I'm gonna go check it out tomorrow. Thanks, Siri.
QB, you're on.
All right, well, y'all can't hear me for some reason. I'm calling in.
Yeah, we got you, QB. You're on there, QB. Well, I'm here. This is JC, and we're waiting on Shane to get connected here in the year 2023. PodUp with Matthews in the morning lives to fight another day, as we hope that the QB can join us in this technological wonder that we call podcasting.
JC, are you there, my man?
Okay, there you are. We can hear you on the phone, QB.
Yep. I mean, you know, I can't control what dumbass Cox Cable or whatever it's called does. You know, they're overpriced as it is. We all know that. I think most people would agree.
No.
So this is PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. I'm sure JC did a fine job starting the program. We got a lot to talk about today. Whole lot to talk about. If you missed it last night, JC's old hockey team got clobbered again, so now he is a Vegas Knights fan. Are you wearing a Vegas Knights hat today, JC?
No. I'm still rooting for Dallas. I guess I have the Panthers because I took that bet down in North Carolina a few weeks ago, if you remember, for them to win it all at 5-1. So I've got them. They're up 3-0. They can close out their series tonight in the Eastern Conference Finals against Carolina. And then Dallas just got shut out last night. Their captain took a major penalty, a game misconduct, and and Vegas was off and rolling. They scored 3 goals in a minute and a half or something. That game was over in the first period. In basketball, QB, the Celtics somehow stayed alive. They beat Miami.
They're
Game
back.
5.
They're back.
Yeah, well, you know, listen, they still have to win 3 more times. That's going to be a tall order, but I'll put it to you like this. If they can send it back to game 6 in Miami, that is actually, in my mind, a game 7 for Miami because they don't want to play the Celtics in game 7 in Boston. So the next 2 games will turn to that.
See Charles Barkley, he said he's loading up. He can't get to the window at FanDuel fast enough for game 5 to bet on the Celtics.
Yes, he did say that. I thought that was humorous. It was fun. Watching that show, I stayed up till almost a quarter to midnight watching the rest of that show. And it ended with the Gone Fishing segment. And it showed the Los Angeles Lakers. And there was a picture of Paula Abdul on the boat. And Charles said, Paula needs to get back to dancing. So you can kind of get an idea what he was talking about. But it was funny. Gone Fishing. That's my favorite segment. That's what they do when somebody is eliminated. They go fishing.
Well, it's either gone fishing or gone golfing, one or the other. So today, Gator baseball. JC, do we have a wager on the game today?
I mean, we can. I mean, you look. The Gator baseball team is my pick to go a very long way, all the way to Omaha. I think if they show, well, I think they're going to be a top 8 seed, just simply based on what they did during the regular season, the way they finished the year out with the sweeping Vanderbilt Commodores, and that to me solidifies them as the top 8. I mean, if you win the SEC, or if you tie for the top spot in the SEC with Arkansas, then certainly I think you have punched your ticket as a top 8 seed, which is what I've wanted all along. For Alabama, beating up on Kentucky last night 4-0 and showing some really good pitching. Feels like a regional host type of team. Definitely not a top 8, but certainly one of the hosts in a regional. So win or lose tonight, I think both teams have pretty much solidified where they are in the college baseball postseason. I think Florida win or lose is a top 8 seed. I think Alabama win or lose is a regional host. And I think that's good news for both programs.
When is the last time Alabama hosted a regional? When's the last time Alabama was in the baseball tournament?
I couldn't tell you. And when you think about all the drama they went through with their coach and the gambling thing up in Louisville and Cincinnati, this pitching coach, JJ, I think his name is Jim Jackson or Jed Jackson or something. He's the pitching coach. He's taken over as the interim coach. I met his roommate up at Annandale, Mississippi over the weekend, and he told me all about this guy, JJ, and that's the guy Alabama should hire full-time as their coach. But right now, they're playing really well. They finished strong during the last weekend series, and they shut out Kentucky last night in Birmingham. I think they're going to be a tough out. So Florida is going to play well, and I certainly think it's going to be a good game. 5 o'clock, 5:30, something like that tonight. Looking forward to that.
What are the odds of a rain delay today?
Pretty good. This is the time of year we're in, right? It's the monsoon season. So welcome to Florida. Welcome to the South. I flew through Atlanta 2 days ago and fortunately had no rain delays or no delays with weather, but it was one of those flights where we didn't go in a straight line. I'll tell you that.
Well, how'd you know you weren't going in a straight line?
Well, because the thing was tilting like this and it was tilting like that. We were flying around clouds and it was, good God, but got home safely and on time.
Yeah. Well, there's talk now. I don't know what people think about this, and it's just talk out there that they may be moving the SEC baseball tournament to some indoor facility somewhere in the Southeast, maybe in Texas at Globe Life Field. Mm-hmm. Or somewhere like that. What are your thoughts on that, JC?
Well, Hoover's been the home of that tournament, but you can't escape the weather, and that just creates havoc, and it's going to create havoc in the regional rounds next week as well, because most of these regionals are going to be in the South. That's where all the baseball or the good teams are, right? So, I think this is just a fact of life at this time of year, and you can't put a roof on every college baseball ballpark, and you can't have every college baseball team play at the home of the Rangers and the Astros. So, this is just what I think they have to deal with. By the way, QB, I don't know if you saw, I have my Annandale, Mississippi with the Quails hat on that we got, and we finished, I think, a half point out of second place in our flight. There was 11 flights, Revel Rollins and I. You saw him last week on Friday's podcast. You can pull it up on YouTube and Facebook. And we did very well with the conditions that we played in. It was 11 flights. We were in the 4th flight, I think, or 3rd or 4th flight, something like that. So we represent. I'll be going back next year rather. I wish I could go back next week, but I'll be going back next year for sure.
So you got an invite back to a very good golf course.
That's the goal.
We don't have any golf courses like that in Gainesville, unfortunately.
I don't think we have many clubs like that anywhere near here. Maybe Golden Ocala.
Go to Ocala, JC.
Golden Ocala, yeah. Although I don't know, dude, that is just a different vibe there. It's something I haven't experienced in many places here. Everybody, there was a buffet line of food after every 9-hole match of different things: breakfast, brunch, lunch, pre-dinner, dinner. They just never stopped. It was just incredible.
Yeah, well, that's how they do it in Mississippi, JC. That's how they do.
I loved it. I loved every bit of it.
Yes, you do. There's no question about that.
QB.
Bruce Ogre State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visitogreinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. Got JC on the Titan More Highline. JC, I want to talk to you. I got some other items things I want to bring up. But we hadn't got your thoughts because you haven't been on the program since the PGA Championship ended. Did you see where Michael Block, somebody offered him $50,000 for his old 7-iron that he made the hole-in-one with? Oh, wow. Well, would you hold your 7-iron for $50,000? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. In a heartbeat.
I would be thrilled that somebody would even offer me a tenth of that for that 7-iron. But I think, that was a big story, obviously. I also liked seeing Brooks Koepka at the Florida Panthers hockey game the other night wearing the jersey of one of his friends.
Last night.
Yeah, I mean, he's all about that South Florida sports scene. It's good for them. They haven't had much lately. And so Brooks is a big fan, man. He's big fan. And, 5 majors, you have to hand it to him with that knee injury he had and the competitive, performance he put in at the Masters. I think, I just wish he played on the regular tour. I just wish he did. I'd like to see him more, but we'll see him in all the majors. That's how it works for him. But QB, let me change gears for a second. I saw on on3.com, I don't know if you saw this, but according to ESPN.
Hang on. Hold that thought. We'll come back to it. I want to stick on golf for a second.
Okay, sure.
You brought up Koepka. I've always been a huge Koepka fan. Love his game, love his demeanor. And I tweeted on a golf text, and if any, we got a bunch of people that hate golf that listen to this program, then we have some that really love golf. The thing that stood out to me about the live players on tour or in this event is Koepka is the only one that still wears a branded hat and shirt, pants, shoes with Nike. Okay. Mickelson wears the logo of his little silly live team. Patrick Reed wears his little silly Aces logo on his hat and stuff from his team. Same with DJ. DJ doesn't, he may be wearing Adidas, but Adidas does not sponsor and put their logo on his stuff anymore. Yeah. And there was a couple other, now Cam Smith still wears his little penguin. But I thought that was interesting. And I don't know if it's something to do with those guys, the brands not wanting to be a part of that tour or what. I know you don't notice those types of things, JC,
no,
but I do.
No, I do. I saw Dustin Johnson's logo on his shirt there, team logo. And I also noticed that Brooks Koepka's all niked out. I mean, he's maybe that was part of the deal that he made with the tour, that he can wear whatever sponsor wants to pay him money. They have their own deals. I mean, I don't think it's a uniform contract. They can do whatever they want. They pretty much.
No, I just think it's interesting that I don't know if Adidas and those guys pulled it from them because they're part of the Live Tour, and Nike doesn't care. So anyway, I'm sure some of our people. All right, real quick, we got a couple of Facebook Lives brought to you by Mel and Law, and then we'll get to your own 3 question or comment. He says, this question is for JC. This is for Chris. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Are the Jaguars make the AFC game this year? Just wondering how many times has Gone put the Jaguar hat on. None of that makes sense, Chris. I guess I don't know what he's asking. Let me try to read this one more time. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way. Or the Jaguars make the AFC game this year. Just wondering how many times has Gone put the Jaguar hat on this year. All right, does that make any sense?
Well, I think what he's saying is, will they get to the playoffs?
He had some typos there, I think.
Yeah, maybe he was. Listen, I think the schedule is certainly, I think, more difficult. There's no question about that because you're now playing fellow division winners from the previous season on your schedule, both home and away. They've got, a division where they're probably going to be picked either at the top or at the second. For sure. And they have 2 games in England this year, back-to-back weeks. So they're basically going to set up shop there for 3 weeks. So I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to say. I like the division they play in, though. We've talked about this all the time. And all you have to do to get a home playoff game is win your division. So I think that is certainly within reach. They've gotten better with Calvin Ridley now on the roster, a couple other guys that hopefully will be better for them offensively, but defensively is where the Jaguars have to get better. They have to get better defensively somehow. And I think they can because their pass defense was exposed last year, I think, a lot. And that was one of the weaknesses of their team. But I don't see why they can't. That's why I bought season tickets, Chris. I buy season tickets because I expect good things, bro. And that's where we're heading. I think they're going to win the division. So how's that sound? So the answer is yes.
There you go. All right, real quick, Joseph asked on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, did Brooks Koepka really want to be the Gator? What happened? Brandon responded, and Brandon's correct about this. Let me scroll down and read Brandon's answer. And I'm not sure why. Oh, there it goes. It says he wasn't that good as an amateur golfer as a kid. Buddy Alexander didn't offer him a scholarship. That is very true. Very true. Brooks cut his teeth playing overseas and grinding to be the player he is today. Yeah, he was not one of these highly acclaimed kids at all. So, yeah, there you have it. All right, JC.
Florida State player.
Moving on. Yeah, he went to be a semi. Moving on, what were you going to say on what you read on from On Three?
Yeah, I mean, just one of the things I saw was that, here we are in year 2 of the Billy Napier tenure, and according to ESPN's strength of schedule rating, the Florida Gators, and I didn't know this, I didn't see this, but they have the third hardest schedule upcoming this year.
We talked about that yesterday. I don't buy it one bit. I don't think it's that difficult. That's just me personally.
Right. Well, and I think they're just basing that on the fact that the Pac-12, and again, this is off last year, so you've said over and over again that is meaningless, but it's basically associated with the fact that they've got the Pac-12 champions on the road. We don't know how good that team will be, or if the quarterback is going to be available. And then we've got Georgia, of course, in Jacksonville, and Florida State, an improved team with 9 wins last year, playing here. Then you've got LSU on the road in November. That's not going to be easy. Missouri on the road just after that will not be easy as well. Who knows what the weather will be there. And then you've got, South Carolina on the road. I don't know if that's a big deal, although the last time they played at South Carolina, it didn't go well. So I'm just trying to figure out how they come up with that third hardest schedule. That seems very extreme. I don't see that either, but that's, I think, how they rationalize that.
Yeah, and Andy asked, did y'all see on DraftKings that the Gators are 9.5-point underdogs to Utah, 7.5 to Tennessee, 15.5 to LSU, 21.5 to Georgia, 9.5 to the semis. But then ESPN has the Gators favored in 8 of their 12 games. So people, I mean, it's just whatever you want to believe, whatever you read. I'm telling you right now, I do not think Tennessee has a great year this year. I don't think they even come close to their win total. I think they take a huge step back. I think LSU is going to be outstanding. I think Georgia is going to be outstanding. Those I think are going to be, those are your 2 favorites to win the East and the West. Hands down. They're the 2 best teams. Alabama can be better, but we got to figure out who's going to play their quarterback. So
you got LSU in the West. So let's see. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll take LSU to win the West and Georgia to win the East. I mean, I'm going out on a limb, right?
I don't. Well, maybe you are. I don't. I mean, I look, of the top 10 schools with this so-called hardest schedule, the SEC has 5 spots. So Ole Miss is 1, Florida is 3, Auburn is 5, Arkansas is 6, Tennessee is 8, and South Carolina is 11. So I mean, almost half. Yeah.
It's so weird that it seems like year in and year out, when these different publications come out with their toughest schedules or whatever, their rankings, you never see like Georgia or Alabama have those tough schedules. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny here. It's a fact.
Well, Georgia's schedule is laughable. And I mean, they'll be at 10 wins before that Tennessee game. Most people think. Now, of course, they've got quarterback that they have to insert as a new player, but most folks think he's going to be fine. And then, they've got very little to really be scared of on the road this year until they travel to Tennessee. And some don't, folks don't know how Tennessee's going to validate last season's success. So we'll see. I mean, it's still a long way off. I think we're inside of 100 days though, QB, if I'm not mistaken. I heard that somewhere.
We are about 98 days away. Speaking of Tennessee, doesn't it feel like kind of Tennessee, they had all this love because they had, I guess it was last year, it was last year. They did really well in the big 3 sports, football, baseball, and basketball.
Yes,
but
they did.
They were kind of bounced from the NCAA tournament. Baseball, remember baseball getting all that love last year and they got upset, and now they've already been bounced from the SEC tournament. I don't know where they stand nationally, if they're going to host or what have you, but it just seems like they get so excited and then they just kind of fall back down.
I mean, the only postseason success they had was the Orange Bowl, and that was it. And that's a lot. That's saying a lot for their football program, which we all know for 2 decades was a cellar dweller. But yeah, I mean, their baseball team crumped. How's the softball team doing? I'm not keeping up. Did they win the SEC?
They're very good, by the way. But they went through a span where they weren't very good for a while. Now they're back to being good.
Well, that's all, that's all well and good. They're all playing for second in softball. So, who knows? Hey, I'm excited about the men's golf team. All right. 2 days out at Greyhawk in Scottsdale, Arizona. The men's golf team, who I think made up a 5-stroke deficit in regionals to get to the top 5 qualifying spot, to get to the NCAAs. They just got on the private jet and wheels up to Arizona. And in 2 days, they'll be playing out there where the women are just, I think, finished up at the NCAA championships in Greyhawk. That's a great place in Scottsdale. And so we're going to keep our eye on that, QB. At least I am. That starts Friday.
Yep. JC was on the program yesterday. They had the team with 4 seniors. They had the team to make a run. You just can't fall behind. So. They made a remarkable comeback to make it to Greyhawk, but they can't sputter around and have a chance to win the national title. But they have the players to do it. So hopefully they can just be very consistent each day. That will take care of it. JC, we're going to take a quick break and come back. I got something that's going to take. I want to get your thoughts on it. You may not even be aware of it, but it irritates the hell out of me. So we're going to take a quick time out. Come back. We'll get a few more minutes with JC. You're watching it and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back.
We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peaceland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise.
Campus USA Credit Union.
QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Dave & Buster's, eat, drink, play, and watch. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, Doreen Wibby, Realtor Caldwell Banker, MM Parish. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Aver and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Q Billiards and Sports Bar. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Hi, Steve Spurrier here. You know, making a reservation at my restaurant is easier than a Saturday afternoon homecoming game against Vandy. You don't have to call or email. Just go to spurriers.com, hit the reservation button, pick a date, a number of guests, and a time. It's so simple, I can do it. In fact, I just did. Maybe I'll see you tonight.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration points where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Regal Cinemas, The Keys, Dave & Buster's, Palmetto Moon, Starbucks, Visors, and the HBC's restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We'll see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. Come go back to the Titan MRI line and be rejoined by JC. All right, JC, real quick, we got a text on the Titan MRI text line from Jonathan. He says, JC, who was your favorite Alabama football player when you were in school back in the day?
That would have been Cornelius Bennett, and he was played pro with the Buffalo Bills, I think, and was a great outside linebacker, a great pass rusher. He was before Derek Thomas, and I certainly liked him. There was also a quarterback named Walter Lewis who was kind of cool, but Biscuit was my guy. I saw him around campus all the time, went to a few classes with him, some prerequisite classes. He sat in there, and he was an acquaintance. I didn't know him real well, but he knew who I was, and we palled around in class a little bit. He knew me.
He didn't know who you were.
No, I saw him in class. I mean, I knew him I saw him in a couple classes, and so we met that way because I did sit next to him. One time he asked me if he could get my notes from the prior lecture.
Did you help him out?
Oh, heck yeah, absolutely. He just said, "I can't read this, man," and I said, "Well, I'll read it to you. You can write it down." But Cornelius was a great player for Alabama, but those were some lean years, man. Those were not good teams. They lost to Tennessee every year when I was in school there. And I think we split with Auburn 2-2. That was Bo Jackson, Brent Fullwood, and Joe Cribbs years. And that Auburn team with Pat Dye was it was hard to deal with. They were hard to deal with.
It looks like Joe Burrow is getting ready to sign the highest paid.
Yeah.
He'll be the highest player in America, in the world when it comes to professional football. So, all right, JC, the thing I wanted to bring up was, I'm sure you didn't see this. I saw it on Twitter, and I've heard from several of my high school friends that coach. The FHSA is now passing a law or whatever.
Oh, God.
Where you can go to any school and then play sports at any other school. So, for example, if you want to enroll at Buchholz and then go play football for Vanguard and then play baseball at North Marion or play basketball at Eastside, you can do all that. It's the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard of.
It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And I don't know what message they're trying to send, but this FHSAA outfit is about 4 miles away from us right here. And that is a terrible message. I did not know this. That is a god-awful message to send. If we are going to keep some sort of conformity and some sort of high school spirit alive, it's now just free agency now in high school. And I don't know what spurred this. And I don't know who sat in the boardroom and said, let's let that happen.
I mean, it's a clown show. It's the most ridiculous. I mean, but think about this, Jason. Think about it. You go and you go sit in your Algebra 2 class.
Yeah.
At school X. Then when school is over, you get in your car and you drive down the road to go baseball practice or to a baseball game for another school.
So did they give any rationale behind that? What is the reasoning?
I didn't read into it because I think it's just ridiculous. There is no rationale behind it. Joseph says the FHSA is a joke. Well, there's no question about it. What's worse, the FHSAA or the NCAA?
I'm not sure who. Okay, think about this. For that to happen, you had to have breathing people in a room to propose this idea and other people to say, yeah, let's go with that. I mean, what world are we living in right now? What is this with high school athletics that would allow something like that for teenagers who are barely shaving, okay, to get the idea that, oh, I'm going to go practice at GHS and beat the hell out of the school I just hung out for the last 7 hours in. Sports is gone wacky. And so that's what we have. Maybe I'm old fashioned, but I think that's a god awful bad idea. So.
No, I don't know how. Look, we all have our opinions on regardless of what the subject is, but there is no way that you can ever convince me that this is good for high school athletics or good for a young man or young woman. You will never convince me of that. It is the stupidest thing I have ever read or heard about.
People have lost their mind at school boards, dude. They've lost their mind at school boards. They've lost their mind at the unions, and they've lost their mind in the athletic fields of rule. I don't know who sat in that room. You should try to find them and have them on the show and ask them a question.
I don't want them on the show. I don't want them on this damn show.
Well, let them expose. Let them expose their rationale for why they're making these just insipid decisions. They don't make sense. I'd love to know what the thinking is. Although maybe I don't want to know, but that's what's going to happen now. So it blows my mind. I think it's appalling. I don't know what parent would want that either. Hey, Johnny. Do your homework at Buchholz, but go practice at Gainesville High after school, and I'll pick you up.
Yeah.
I'll drop
we
you
got a
off if
text.
you all speak up against mine or whatever.
All right. Here's a text on the Titan.
So much for that
line.
pep rally. So much for that pep rally, after lunch. Yeah, we're going to go to a pep rally. Oh, wait a minute. Little Brian over there can't go because he plays for the other team.
Yeah, exactly. This is from, I don't know who this is from. It says, tell JC that with all these GMOs, kids are shaving in the 6th grade now. I don't even know what GMO stands for.
Oh, okay. Well, it's the stuff in the food these days. I don't think I have any in this drink here. I would highly doubt that. But yeah.
I like this. Chris from Cottondale says on the Titan Mar text line, JC talks to a guy's roommate, gets his perspective, is now ready to take the guy from interim to permanent head coach. Can we make sure that he does the hiring for Bama football when Nick retires? Laugh out loud.
Yeah. Well, listen, how do you know this guy is not going to be the answer for them? I mean, Bohannon was, I guess, a good coach. That they seemed very average when they were playing. And then the scandal brought them down with cause. And now all of a sudden they're playing their best baseball of the year with this interim coach. And I talked to the guy's roommate. So, I mean, hell yeah, he's excited about it. They had a coach at Southern Miss that just retired who was very popular. And I've had people tell me, I think that guy's going to go to Alabama. I said, well, he just retired. And so it could be JJ. So we'll see. I don't know. It's going to be a good game tonight, 5:30 though. I give you great insight here on PodUp with Matthews in the morning. It's unbelievable.
Okay. Andy says he doesn't think my example is correct, that the rules involve charter schools that do not offer extracurricular activities. Maybe that's the case. I talked to a couple other college coaches that recruit, and we're all kind of on the same thing, but regardless, Todd says, oh, great. So now we have to talk to one school's coaches for players evaluation, the guidance staff at another school to evaluate grades, not smart.
So, QB, are you sure about this?
I could be wrong, but regardless.
Yeah. I mean, before we go,
ridiculous.
Before we go raising hell and calling people out, I'd like to know if the story's straight there, QB.
Well, I'm going by what some college coaches told me as well, and I'm pretty sure that regardless, the FHSA is ridiculous. Don't even get me started on them. And, you know, when they allow private schools to play public schools for state championships, they're moronic. Okay.
Okay, that I can buy for sure. Yes.
Yeah. So Andy says it involves charter schools. So maybe that's the case, but that's not what I was told by. These are public school coaches that I deal with, and they're the ones that told me that. So anyway, regardless of it, if I'm right or wrong or whatever, we all can agree that the FHSA does dumb stuff, and they can call my show. I don't care. I've never agreed with what they do. I don't know why they can't be like other states that run their programs the right way. JC, I have a question for you because somebody sent me a text on the Titan Mar text line. There's this new Jordan shoe, orange and blue one that came out. It's like the Air Jordan 1 Low. And they asked me if the Gator football team had given me a pair yet. And I said, no. I'm not one that really cares too much about I think I don't get into the Jordan shoes for some reason. And I wasn't going to bring this up, but I had to. Are you into Jordan shoes, JC?
I couldn't. I wouldn't know what one looks like. So
the Michael Jordan shoes that they give away. So
basketball, well, at 5'8.5", basketball never got into my life. But I certainly know that kids they love the shoes more than anything. I mean, I think some women's basketball team that won it got some Kobe Bryants, and you never seen more happy people in your life. So whatever. I mean, listen, that's a big deal for those people and that play that sport. And I think it's great, but I can't say I wear golf shoes. Yeah. FootJoy.
Okay. Real quick. Rick says, didn't Tebow do it? Tebow was a homeschool. All right. Andy says the example of this. I was at a school yesterday that was a private school, and they were even talking about the public schools, how ridiculous it would be for them. But Andy says, for example, a student who wants to play football at Trinity Catholic in Ocala, but attended the Villages Charter High School as a student, and this change would make it permissible. Okay. Well, maybe it just has something to do with those schools, but I was told that, let's just say a kid wanted to go to school at Forest High School in Ocala,
Yeah.
but wanted to play football at Vanguard
No,
could do that.
that's
So,
wrong. That shouldn't be allowed. The other example you gave, I have a pathway of seeing that happen. Yes, but not the public schools. No.
But I mean, there really aren't many schools that don't offer sports that other kids want to go play. I mean, maybe the one here in Gainesville would be the Rock. They don't play real football. But nobody that goes to the Rock's going to want to play football.
No, they're basketball, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And soccer.
Okay.
So anyway, Cliff says he watched the movie Air, about the Air Jordan shoe came in existence. It's a great movie. I heard it's a great movie. I'm just talking about, I don't get into the whole, the Gator football players get all these Jordans. My son got them when he played. I'm just not a Jordan shoe guy. I like normal tennis shoes. So anyway.
Yeah.
All right. I was just reading some text here. All right,
Yes.
JC, got anything else before we get you out?
Well, listen, big game tonight. Just want to reiterate that I think both teams have pretty much solidified their postseason. The only difference for Florida could be the in between 1 and 8, which number they would be. But being inside that top 8 was a goal, and I think they're going to hit it. And for Alabama, I think it was just hosting a regional, which I believe they will do as well. So in spite of all that controversy they had. So that's important. Also, by the time we get back here, the Gator golf team will be trying to win a national title out in Arizona. So that's important to me as well. And, we'll see how these pro sports turn out. I think the Celtics are still alive. I don't know if they can pull off 3 more wins against that team, but it's definitely not over. And Denver, let's hear it for the Nuggets. How many people had the Nuggets? They've never won a championship in basketball in the NBA, and the Denver Nuggets have probably the biggest name right now going in basketball, the Joker. So
I'm glad you brought that up. Do you know who Stan Kroenke is, JC?
Yes, I do. He is the owner of the Rams.
Do you realize he owns the Rams? Listen to the teams that he owns, and they have won 3 championships since 2022. Are now playing for 2 more. He owns the Rams. They won the 2022 Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He owns the Avalanche. They won the 2022 Stanley Cup.
That's incredible.
He owns this professional lacrosse team. I guess they're in Mammoth. They won it in 2022 and 2023, and he owns the Denver Nuggets.
Oh my God! Well, it's good to be Stan the man. And he also built a $5 billion stadium in Hollywood Park, California, for the Rams and the Chargers to play in. Let's remember that. The Chargers share that stadium. So, I mean, the guy is the owner of the year. You have to hand to him, man. And Denver, listen, those Nuggets, they get very little press, very little coverage. They have the biggest name right now going with the Joker, but these other players they have on that roster have done a great job as well. And Denver right now has to be your favorite to win it all. I don't see why they wouldn't be.
Yeah, they're clearly the best team. There's no question about that. All right, last text here on the Titan Lamar text line. Daryl says, "Good morning, guys. My son and I have a bet. He thinks Tennessee is going to win the East because they have a lot of transfers coming in. I told him the road still goes through Athens to get to Atlanta. Joe Milton is not Hendon Hooker. Tennessee takes a step back." I agree, Daryl. I agree with you there.
But they do get.
See, all these people. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. You said all these people want what?
They want a pair of these damn Jordan shoes.
Oh, Lord. Well, I'd say this. Tennessee, has to replace the biggest player on their team last year, along with a pretty good wide receiver that got drafted by the New York Giants. But I would tell you that they do get Georgia at home. If that matters, by the time they play, we will see. Tennessee's got a lot of things to do before they get to that home game with Georgia, including playing the Florida Gators in Gainesville in September and playing Alabama in Tuscaloosa, coming off that ridiculous game they had last year in Knoxville. So let's just keep that in mind before we give Tennessee the SEC East.
Yeah, JC, you've been challenged to a golf match here on Facebook Live. What? I don't know if Joseph challenged you or Brandon, but they want a par 3. Now they want to call him JC.
How about this? I'll play Joseph and Brandon's best ball, and they can have all they want. So let's do that. How about we do that?
Ooh, I don't. Jay, you don't even know how good these dudes are.
They don't know how good I am either. They don't know me either. So we'll see.
Yeah, I would be careful, JC. Be careful. All right, JC.
All right.
What are you doing for the Alabama game? Are you going to hunker down and
maybe we should go somewhere and I can give you some merchandise from Annandale and watch the game.
Well, I do not like going anywhere to watch a game.
Well, I mean, you can pick up. Yeah, okay, but all right. Well, we'll talk about it. I'm going to do something because I'm a bachelor for the next 3 days, so I probably won't want to sit by myself at the house. I will tell you that. So.
Okay. All right, JC, we appreciate you joining us on the Titan MR Hotline, my man.
You get.
We forgot to do our Peachland. I forgot today is Wednesday. We forgot to do our Peachland weekend picks.
Well, let's get it on.
We got to do those real quick.
Okay.
This show has been a mess.
Well, technological issues.
Yeah, but I may have gave false information. I'm going by what high school coaches were telling me, and I trust these high school coaches.
Okay, well then, you know what? You said that you are reporting things that you heard. That's not the same thing as actually break the story.
Even if I gave false information today, I still think the FHSA does so many things backwards.
You have made that very clear. The Charles Schwab Challenge in Colonial, I think that's the course that the old the Colonial. That's in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yes, I've played it many times. It's
a great course. What's that? Ben Hogan's place? Is that right? Or Sam Snead? Ben Hogan. All right. Well, listen. I don't know what is the thing about the challenge. What does that mean? The Charles Schwab, is it just the name of the sponsor or challenge?
Just the name. It has nothing to do. It's a golf tournament.
All right, I'm going to take some guys I typically don't take. I'm going to start it off with Kevin Kisner because I don't think you have to be long at this on this track. I don't think you have to be long at this track. Yeah.
Good Lord, Scotty Scheffler plays in every golf tournament, doesn't he?
Everyone.
I'm going to take JC Deacon's boy, Kurt Kitayama.
Yeah, he won the Bay Hill. Sure thing. All right, it's a good pick. I like Kevin Kisner. All right, so I'm also going to take, I think Spieth plays well in Texas. He loves the tracks there. He knows everything. I'll take Jordan Spieth as my second pick.
Jordan Spieth, okay. And then I'm going to take Justin Rose. He's playing good golf.
Yeah, he is playing very good golf. My last pick is Colin Morikawa.
All right, you're going to take Morikawa. Let's see give me Sungjae Im.
Go to that Korean well, QB.
Well, he played terrible last week. So he last year he made more birdies than anybody on the tour.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. Well, we've got a whole month and a half until the next major. So we're going to be filled with these types of tournaments, which is great. I love the tour. And that's all I watch. I don't watch the other one.
All right. Well, that was the Peachland Dental weekend picks. Gator Nation's number one choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte surrounding areas. All right, JC. We'll talk to you on Friday, my man.
See you there. Thanks.
All right. That's JC. Join us on the Titan MR Hotline. Take our final time out. Come back. Get to This Day in Sports. A couple of more texts. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Be right back.
We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise.
Campus USA Credit Union.
QC Kinetics. Live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Dave & Buster's. Eat, drink, play, and watch. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, Doreen Wibby, Realtor Caldwell Banker MM Parish. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Aver and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Hi, Steve Spurrier here. You know, making a reservation at my restaurant is easier than a Saturday afternoon homecoming game against Vandy. You don't have to call or email. Just go to spurriers.com, hit the reservation button, pick a date, a number of guests, and a time. It's so simple, I can do it. In fact, I just did. Maybe I'll see you tonight.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. I want to thank JC for joining us on the Titan Moore Hotline. He cracks me up, some of the stuff JC says. I want to get to, Andy, I want to appreciate you for checking on that FHSA. I'm going to talk to some of my coaches. Maybe they were wrong, but I'm sure whatever you read is correct. He says the Gators have had more 2022, 23 SEC titles than any other SEC school, 6 men's and women's swimming, men's golf, baseball, volleyball, and gymnastics. Yeah. Kudos to those sports for sure. This Day in Sports is brought to you by our good friends at Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union. This Day in Sports in 1990, in the Stanley Cup Finals, the Edmonton Oilers beat the Boston Bruins, not the Brewers, the Bruins, 4-1 for a 4-1 series win. The Oilers' 5th Cup win in 7 years. That's back when Gretzky was playing. So that's brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. I saw this on a tweet on Pro Football Focus, the top 10 starting QBs in the National Football League heading into next season, their rankings. See what you guys think here. They got Mahomes 1, Josh Allen 2, Joe Burrow 3, Herbert 4, Aaron Rodgers 5, Lamar Jackson 6, Jalen Hurts 7, Trevor Lawrence 8, Kirk Cousins 9, Dak Prescott 10. I'd have to think about that list there, but that's what they have, and they watch a lot of tape. So I don't have a problem with first 5. This is from Gene on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melton Law. QB, did you see Brady bought part of the Raiders? Which NFL team would you buy? I did see that. I would, I mean, the Saints were my team growing up. I don't know. That's a good question, Gino. I'd have to really think about that. Saints might be much cheaper than the Raiders. The question would be, Gino, what team would you buy? Greg says, Florida's a golf and track and field school. Yeah, we are right now. There's no question about that. So anyway, QC Kinetics. Has anybody been to QC Kinetics? You need to go. If you got joint pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back that won't go away, you need to check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. Schedule your free consultation at QC Kinetics with locations in Ocala and now in Gainesville, 352-400-4550. Had another text here on the Titan MR text line. It says, this is from Bob. Bob says, Shane, what is your handicap? I know you love golf. You talk about golf a lot. My handicap right now is a 5.2. I haven't been playing very well. I used to be a lot better golfer back in the day. My eyesight has really hindered my golf game, and I got a new prescription to help with my depth perception. And people always go, hey, you know the yardage. What does your depth perception have anything to do with it? Well, it does the way I play golf. I play by feel, even though I know my yardage and things like that. It's hurt my short game around the greens as well, not being able to see as well. So I've yet to play with my new prescription, so hopefully that will help. but yeah, I used to be, 7, 8 years ago, I was a much, much better player than I am today. But yeah, there's nothing better than the game of golf. My favorite sport in the world, best sport in the world, if you ask me. And I have reasons behind that. Andy says Aaron Rodgers pulled a calf muscle his first OTA with the Jets. Interesting. I did not know that. So old age, maybe he was trying to outrun some of those young bucks. What is JC's handicap? I think he's like an 8 or something, like 8 or 9, Joseph, somewhere around there. I will tell you this, Joseph, if you can get him away from his home track, he has trouble. He loves his home track. Very, very easy golf course for him. And he lives there, so he loves it. There's no question about it. His favorite golf course in the world. And it drives me nuts. He does not like to travel to play golf. Gator baseball today, 5:30. I don't know if that game will start at 5:30. There's games before them. You'll have games run long. You'll have probably rain delays, although Andy told us should be good weather. I know they had a rain delay yesterday. Seems like there's always rain delays in Hoover. But we appreciate you guys chiming in. And I apologize if I gave bad information on the FHSA's new policy, but I just know that my public school coaches are not happy about it at all. And it just makes no sense to me. Yes, Brandon Hale. That's his course. That is his course. They're challenging Joseph and Brandon, so they're going to beat JC down. JC challenging y'all playing your best ball is the funniest thing I ever heard. He has no chance of beating anybody playing their best ball. So, Andy says, and rename the team Redskins and unretire Sonny Jurgensen's number. Yeah, I know Sonny's happy to have number 9. They're talking about me buy the Redskins. Now, the Redskins are a good franchise to have. There's no question about that. So anyway, we got Gator baseball. If you missed it last night, the Celtics stay alive. And the Celtics are the better team. They just haven't been playing very well. I don't think anybody's going to beat the Denver Nuggets. I think they're clearly the best team. So we'll see. Also, JC and I on our Peachland Dental picks for the Charles Schwab tournament out in Fort Worth. Michael Block will be playing in this. We'll see how he plays. I have Justin Rose, Sanjay M., and Kurt Kitayama. JC took a Georgia Bulldog, Kurt Kisner, a Texas Longhorn, Jordan Spieth, and a Cal Bear in Colin Morikawa. Hope you enjoyed today's program. Hopefully the Gators can find a way to win today. Not that it's a matter. I think they're going to be the number 2 seed no matter what happens. But it should be a lot of fun. The baseball tournament's always good to watch. Have a great day, folks, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.